Signs that the end of the world has occurred. Are the end of days getting closer? The signs of the apocalypse and the coming of the last days must be believed by every Muslim. The definition of the end of the world is the day when life on earth and the universe ends. Believing in the existence of the end of the universe is the fifth pillar of faith. If a Muslim doubts the occurrence of this day, then his faith needs to be questioned. Because many verses of the Koran repeatedly emphasize that the occurrence of the Day of Judgment is not a matter of doubt. One of them is as stated in Surah Al-Hajj verse 7. Allah SWT says, which means, and indeed the Day of Judgment will certainly come, there is no doubt about it, and that Allah will raise everyone from the graves. QS. Al-Hajj 22:7. Regarding when the doomsday will occur, only Allah knows. However, there are signs that precede its appearance. In fact, there are signs of the apocalypse that is already happening today. What are they? What is doomsday? The big Indonesian dictionary KBBI defines the word apocalypse as the day of the end of time. As for terminology, this term refers to the destruction or destruction of the universe as a sign of the end of worldly life leading to eternal life in the afterlife. Meanwhile, the definition of doomsday according to the Sharia is the time when worldly life ends with the blowing of a trumpet, as the beginning of the day of resurrection and the reckoning of deeds. From the definition above, doomsday can be interpreted as the day when the universe and life in it are destroyed, as the beginning of eternal afterlife. In the Holy Book Al-Quran, the Day of Judgment is mentioned in different terms, including Al-Qari'ah, Al-Waqi'ah, Al-Haqqah, Yawmul Ba'ath, Yawmul Qur'ah, and Yawmul Wa'id. Types of apocalypse. Broadly speaking, doomsday is divided into two types, namely, the Kubra apocalypse, also known as the Great Apocalypse, is the event of the destruction of the universe and the end of the lives of all creatures, including humans, jinn, animals and plants, after the blowing of the first trumpet. The Sugra apocalypse, also known as the Minor Apocalypse, includes the removal of spirits from bodies and various natural disasters, such as tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, floods and landslides. Between these two types, the only one that has appeared nowadays is the Sugra apocalypse. This is because if the Kubra apocalypse had occurred, of course none of us would still be alive. So, what are the signs of the Sugra apocalypse that has occurred? Signs of the apocalypse that has already happened. 1. The death of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Pay attention to the 6 signs of the Day of Judgment. 1. My Rasulullah's death. Bukhari no. 3176. 2. Split moon. The time of doomsday is near, and the moon has split. And if they, the polytheists, see any sign miracle, they turn and say, this is continuous magic. Al-Qamar 55:1-2. 3. The emergence of false prophets. There will be among my people 30 liars, all claiming to be prophets. Abu Dawud. 4. Exit of fire from the Hijaz region. The Day of Judgment will not occur before fire comes out of the Hijaz region, which illuminates the humps of the camels in Busra. Bukhari and Muslim. News of the appearance of the fire was mentioned by An-Nawawi. In our time, a fire broke out in the Medina area in 654 AH. The fire was very big, it was to the east of the city of Medina, behind the Al-Hira area. This news spread randomly throughout Syria and all countries. And there was the people of Medina who witnessed it conveyed this to me. Shah Sahih Muslim, 1828. 5. Arabian land is turning green again. The Day of Judgment will not come until the land of Arabia returns to being green, full of plants and rivers. Muslim. Apart from the 4 signs above, there are also signs of the end of the world based on the hadith of the Prophet that has already occurred. Here are some of them. Died or death. Qadis was conquered. The death of scholars and pious people. There were many murders. There was a lot of shirk. Rampant adultery. There has been a lot of slander. Increased consumption of khamr. Few understand religion, but ignorance is rampant. Time seems to be speeding up. The spread of homosexual and lesbian behavior. More and more men resemble women, and vice versa. There are fewer men in the world than women. All matters are handed over by people who are not experts in their fields. The spread of gambling. More and more skyscrapers. The mosque was beautified and made luxurious. The appearance of the signs of the apocalypse above cannot yet confirm whether the end of the world is getting closer. Once again, knowledge regarding the apocalypse is a supernatural matter that is only known by Allah SWT. Nevertheless, the signs of the apocalypse that have appeared should serve as a warning and admonition for all of us to worship more actively and draw closer to Him.